your bitch favorite fantasy league. Your bitch gotta have a favorite fantasy football podcast, so we came with it.
Talk,
Tute,
talk to him. Niggas ain't think we was really finna pull this off.
niggas wanted content, so what we gonna do? We gonna give them content. What you talking about, look? Hey, all you gotta know is quality over quantity. If you ask and you shall receive. We got masks on because they censoring us over here in North Korea, so we're not trying to get sniped. Not trying to get sniped. Commish, look, we don't want no war. We don't want no war.
Kim Jong era does.
Look, we thought we escaped it the first time. We thought we escaped it the first time. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I can say. I'm not trying to get canceled for the first episode here.
That's the truth.
But just know, Two-Take is here. We're gonna give y'all some prime content, some insider information. I got some real juicy news. Pause. Some real juicy news on some trades. We're gonna get into that. Really, first we're gonna review some of the rosters. We had a good draft. It's week 1, really. We're gonna do some week 1 predictions, and then we're gonna wear the poop suit. Apparently this year the new loser punishment got to wear a poop suit. I don't know if they got to go to the club or some shit with that, but I don't know. It's looking like it might be a back-to-back for one of our. We gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that, but y'all know who it is. It's Big Mo Great, Muhammad Abdurrahman. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
I will be keeping my identity anonymous. You feel me? Because I'm gonna speak frankly. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair enough. We 10 toes over here.
So week 1 matchup. Let's get it. We're gonna do
let's get it off the rip.
We're gonna do a roster breakdown and just give week 1 predictions. At the end, we'll do Super Bowl prediction. First matchup. Let's get it. We got Gravedigger.
He already digging his own grave, apparently.
Gravedigger. So we got Gravedigger. That's Michael Lepoku. He is a 4-year returning member. That's it. There's nothing next to his name. He's not a Super Bowl winner, no championships. That's it.
These are just bro, you got a playoff appearance, right?
Truth be told, he's really facing relegation. So this is a very pivotal year for him. He didn't draft like he had that person on him, though. This was a very concerning draft for someone who's facing relegation.
I'm in danger.
Let's kick off the roster. Who's this quarterback? We got Lamar Jackson. We do think Lamar is going to air it out. Not air it, obviously, but we definitely foresee more pass attempts in that Baltimore Ravens.
We can skip the running backs. We don't even need to talk about that bullshit.
Definitely figured about running backs. Rachaad White, I think it's pretty evident that Mike doesn't know he's not good at football. One of the more unproductive backs in the league. His RB2 is Jay Williams for the Saints. That's his RB2 in week 1, ladies and gentlemen. Jay Williams.
Nigga don't even need the real name.
Is pretty solid. I won't start on them.
Diggs and Lamb is not bad.
Yeah. Those names.
Diggs and Lamb is not bad.
Evan Ingram, Devontae Smith. Atlanta's defense. His bench, James Cook. Forgettable names, but yeah, it's his bench. What do you think of his roster, Mo?
I say this. His running backs, trash, but he do got some good wide receivers. I think his wide receivers might be the reason why he won't be bottom. I think they might have some, Diggs. I had him last year. Damn near he took a lot of Jackson. I had him last year too. He got some guys that might save him some weeks if he gets to, some favorable matchups. But I don't know. It's looking,
It's looking very shaky. Mike was a laughing stock after the draft. And last year, that was Meenop who was a laughing stock at the draft. And we all know how that played out for Meenop. His face full of meat.
Yeah. I will say this.
He was out already for hours eating meat.
Meat! I smell meat! That away! Hey! Less arguing! More meat!
Hey, yo. Set him up.
No pause. He was eating meat. And he was a laughing stock of the draft last year. This is the position that Michael is in now. pretty
Yes.
concerning, but he's feigning that he's not concerned. Time will definitely tell.
It's
The
not
one
looking
thing
good.
about time is that bitch never lies.
What I will say, I'm concerned for him this week, and we will get into who I think wins. I think CeeDee Lamb, you know how the Cowboys look week 1, man. That's all I'm gonna say. You know how the Cowboys come out looking like some
Yeah.
hush puppies.
Oh, no preseason reps. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what CeeDee Lamb we gonna get, but you know that's a perfect parlay transition into lab experiments. You know, Lab is new into the league. He replaced the real co-champ of the year. um, but you know, I mean, he got a pretty cool team. You got Joe Burrow. You know, I don't know if he's gonna play week 1, but hey, Bijan, he took a risk with Bijan round 1. He's I guess the Bijan experiment is starting. And, shit, hey, good luck, man. I don't know what the fuck they doing in Atlanta, so good luck. Madison, I guess, yeah, Cook's gone. You know, then you got AJ Brown. That's a pretty good pickup. Olave, 2 good wide receiver ones. Waller, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to hoop for like 1 or 2 weeks and then just be injured, so who cares? Scary Terry, I don't know why he still has him in his starting lineup. That guy's probably not playing. And then interesting, I see that he has Dallas defense, but he has Waller. So I don't know what's going on there, guy. But hey,
the thing about Lab is, I mean, respectable team, respectable draft. Truth be told, I think going to round 1 in this playoffs, like that would be a successful season for him. I'm not really expecting much. I'm not expecting him to be the absolute worst. Expecting him in that mid tier 5. Maybe he sneaks into the playoffs at 4. But realistically, he's a 5 to 6 seed. Maybe 4. But really
I can see that. I can see that. You know, like I said, right now it just depends on the matchups. You know, if he goes on a winning streak, he might be able to make it to the playoffs. If not, like you said, I can see around that 5-6 range. So we'll see how that goes. And then
you also got to take into consideration that he's on the other side of the world. So just that time zone has to affect like lineups and last minute decisions that may need to be made.
That's true.
Reports.
Off from
They said he was in North Korea, so that may be a connectivity issue. You know, he
really gonna have to lock in. You're right.
Yeah.
Have to lock in. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see about that.
Are pretty stacked, but we'll see what he got. I don't expect much. I expect a respectable season.
He really took a gamble on Bijan, so we really Bijan Mustard, whatever you want to call him. So hopefully he beats. And yeah, man, good luck on that. And then we're gonna get into the Sherlock Mahomes. Hey, can we talk about some of these names, man? What's up, man? Like Sherlock Mahomes.
Why do niggas have names of players that are okay? Mahomes is actually on his team.
Yeah, but I don't get four sensations. One nigga had Pollard Greens, the D Clan.
The D Clan.
Yeah, bro. Hey, look, let's tail it back. Let's tail it back. Okay, we got Sherlock Mahomes.
Yeah,
that's Petros. You know, Petros last year, he was, you know, a bit of an underachiever. He had a high scoring team for the most of the year. He seemed like he was going to be, you know, in the championship. But as the season kind of went on later on, because his team kind of dwindled. I don't know if it was injury, just lost that firepower that they had earlier in the season. Seems like he had his best game.
That's why.
Fair enough. It was a
competitor. You don't really see them as a championship threat, but they will compete.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those that he's like the Vikings, you know, like they make noise and then
literally
don't
get Super Bowl. Yeah, at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think he's definitely the Minnesota Vikings. You know, he has Patrick Mahomes, good pickup always. Nick Chubb. I don't know, man. Nick Chubb, I feel like Cleveland's gonna run into the dirt eventually, but it just hasn't happened yet. I feel like he always gets Connor. This is like the second or third year he had Chase Connor, but hey, Arizona, I guess. I mean, they don't have a QB right now, so that's cool. And of course, T Hill, that's my dog, wide receiver 1 for the league. You know, Metcalf, good pickup. I mean, honestly, if you look at his team, he has a good team, good roster. Like you said, it's just a matter of what's he gonna do when it's his bench. Actually, he looks very top heavy now.
I think the roster reflects, he has the highest projection this week. We'll start off with that 130. So that does look promising, but just looking at his roster, this reflects a typical performance.
Good I was about to say we're gonna see some high numbers, fireworks, and
he'll have some
probably doing the loud
injuries come into play that may really do a number on his team. Above 500, realistically, probably, but a threat to actually win the whole thing, absolutely not, never. No offense. No offense.
No offense after.
No offense. What did Michael Blackson be saying? With all due respect, Murasaka.
Yeah, all due respect, no disrespect, all due disrespect.
Okay, for sensations, that will be Udo.
Okay. Oh, this is the Kansas City historian himself.
Kansas City historian. Let's get to his team. His team actually does not look bad.
Yeah, it don't. It really don't.
Saquon and Aaron Jones, this is RB1 and 2. Adams and Higgins, this is wide receiver 1 and 2 combo. Mark Andrews, Dameon Pierce. I'm not gonna lie, Udo's team, it doesn't have the sexiest names, but it's about.
He got the producer. I like it.
All respectable players.
I like it. It reminds me of how I draft. Aaron Rodgers should have a good year. Hopefully, he's bounced back.
He should be solid. Like give you 17, 18 a week.
Maybe 20. I don't know. You do play Bill at least twice a year. You know how they get down. They gonna limit your top dog. G. Will didn't really have the best games against Patriots last year. We'll see.
It's a hard schedule.
It was. Don't say they got a hard schedule. They got to play some dogs. So I can see Aaron not just being, explosive as, Paul.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Explosive as other QBs.
Yeah,
but he do got, Mark Andrews. Probably not gonna be the same Mark Andrews. Finally, Baltimore has some actual receiving targets now. I think who got Zay Flowers? One of these guys had to have picked up Zay. I don't know who, but I'm a wide receiver guru. I think he's gonna have some good games. Rookie wide receivers usually have 4 or 5 good games in them, and then they kind of teeter out. So,
who do you got?
I mean, looking at this team, I think they might be some playoff contenders on here.
Who do you got winning the matchup? Udo is also in his first year, if I didn't mention that earlier.
Yeah, we did. Honestly, if I just had to go off the looks, I think, I'm gonna have to go with P's team, man. Don't have a QB early. Godwin should go off.
I think Udo is gonna steal that one. I actually think Udo will steal that game.
Really? I mean, I can see it if Pat Mahomes has a dud game. It is a Thursday game.
Yeah, I didn't even
consider that Monday night match.
There's no way Mahomes is going to have like a 30-plus point performance. No way.
I can see
given the conditions, no Kelsey. I don't know. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be a slower game. I think Detroit's going to want to run the ball. Hopefully keep Mahomes off the field. I don't think Mahomes has his playmakers. Is Kadarius Toney going to play? He's kind of questionable. Maybe he does play. I don't know. I think not having Kelsey in the lineup changes Kansas City game plan. Maybe they run the ball more, a lot more stuff behind the line of scrimmage. We'll see. I think it's
I'm gonna still stick with P. I think end of the day they do got some pretty good close matchups. Looking at their running backs, tightly even. The wide receivers, I lean more towards. I'm a little bit biased, but I think Tyreek and DK gonna do it. With I don't know what's the quarterback situation going on in Cincinnati. And like I said, he has Godwin going against Dameon Pierce. Like, come on, dog. Dameon Pierce is your flex. That's not gonna do it. That's not gonna do it. Go Gators though. But yeah, we're gonna move on to Pollard Greens and Hold Your Leisure. I'm guessing Pollard Greens. Oh, that's Steve's team.
This is the lowest projected matchup. No, it is. I mean, numbers don't lie. I'm just. It's actually pretty.
Oh man, and we know who Hold Your Leisure is. So I don't know who you want to dissect. Pause first.
we can get into how Paula Green's that's Stephen Ogaga's team as a commissioner. He won the league off a vote last year.
On some Love Island shit. Also Love Island shit. Also Love Island shit. The USA voted for her to win this type shit. Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that. I suggested Coach James, but Steve had their hearts.
Hey man, look, awesome.
And I think some people are regretting that decision, but we'll get to that later on in the show. If this is Steve's team, he has Justin Fields, Tony Pollard, J.K. Dobbins. That's just nasty.
Yeah.
Dobbins is the RB2, definitely not ideal. Ridley and Allen as his wide receiver 1 and 2. Again, like those are two fine wide receiver 2s, but who's your guy? Who's your wide receiver 1, you know?
Yeah.
You're
I can see why they're lower projected.
But you don't have a true wide receiver 1. I think that's an issue. And Deontay Johnson, just that nigga from Pittsburgh.
Hey, if Deontay can score a TD this year, it might be something, bro.
Yeah. So let's hope it's this week 1 game. And then Dalton Schultz as his tight end. Dalton did perform well in Dallas, but you know he had a proven veteran quarterback in Dak Prescott. Will he replicate that performance in a less productive offense and under a rookie quarterback in CJ Stroud?
And will he stay healthy? Will he stay healthy?
That too. But you know, Steven, you can't tell him anything, right? You can't tell him anything. He actually drafted Kelsey first round. That's why this lineup is looking funky. Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee in practice today. He's probably not going to play on Thursday, so Steve went ahead and took him out the lineup. He has Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift on his bench. Yeah, it's just a lot of projection, hoping and wishing with Steve. I hope it works out for him. That's all I have to say. I hope it works out.
Well, I mean, we'll see where it goes. I mean, for some reason, Steve is, you know, he has been our first loser's punishment, but he's also won it too, so I got to give it to him. Playoff wise, I think it's really he's gonna have the number 1 tight end for sure. That's no doubt. But like you said, those wide receivers, I don't know, maybe he's got to make some trades or shake it up. But
is he savvy enough to make trades?
Yeah, I don't know. He got blessed with Jetta last year, so I don't know what he's going to look like. But I put him into the playoff contention. I don't know if he's going to win it, but I think he could potentially be in the 5 to.
I don't see playoffs for him. I think he's a doofus. I think his team is pretty weak. I think he's a bottom feeder guy, to be honest. And I think last year he got lucky. He got voted into winning the championship. He didn't win the championship. He got voted into he got voted into
You're not wrong.
If you ask me, he really earned it. I don't really respect him like that. It's not even about him. It's not personal. I just don't respect his team. I think his team is pretty weak. I think it's a lot of projecting, hoping, and wishing. And hopefully he wins week 1, right?
But I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess if you look at his team too, he got 2 nigger backs. So I guess he's like, hey, one don't work, I'll just plug in the other. So yeah, I don't.
Jonathan Taylor, we don't even know. He's already gonna be inactive the first 4 weeks. He's really in a sticky situation. A lot of projecting and wishing, like I said. Last year it kind of worked out for him, but I don't think that's a sustainable formula in terms of having a winning operation.
I did note that I could see a Super Bowl hangover, so I definitely don't see him doing a back-to-back. But you know, who knows? Maybe he'll get voted into playoffs. And then we got Urban Leisure. Let's just start off with the horrible year. How many wins has he had in the last 2 seasons? Is it 2?
He's had 1 win, 2 wins.
2 wins
in the last 18 months.
Yes, that's a tough one.
He's very familiar with losing. Let's just say that.
He had to sit in Arby's and just eat up meat for like 10 hours on Instagram Live.
Hopefully he learned anything doing that.
He never learned anything. He was actually avoiding loser's punishment. I think he's probably going to be contending for back-to-back loser punishment again. I mean, he has a good quarterback. I don't really rate Herbert like that, but he is a good quarterback. Etienne's a good
He a good
Running back
He's a good real life.
Stevenson as well. With this team, I'm assuming that he's going to trade Cooper Cup. I've been got some insider reports on potential trade going on there. So maybe
because the opponent that he's facing blocked that trade, which is rather interesting, right?
Oh shit! I didn't even realize they was playing.
Yeah. Meenop as Cooper Cup. Cooper Cup will not be playing week 1. So Meenop upgraded his team.
You're cooking. Hey, let me go get my tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
Let me go get my tinfoil hat. Hold on.
No, but that's
Beat-up luck. You're cooking.
When trades are made, what ends up happening is you have a lot of owners who get insecure because they're not making any motion. They're not really improving their team. So anytime they see someone else improving their team, they get really insecure. They're full of fear, and they just want to beat up. But that's not fun. And fundamental, reason why Beto even exists. So what happened is Meenop traded Cup for St. Brown, and he was like Ertz and who's the running back from the Rams?
Akers.
What did it say? Akers. So they did that trade. Steven went against the Constitution, and Beto did, and didn't even allow anyone to vote for it. Most of the league were in kind of unison that it was a whatever trade. They weren't going to really veto it, but he was so scared of the possibility of Meenop getting better that he went against the Constitution to veto the trade. Me personally, I just think that's a bitch ass nigga.
Hey, that is a bitch move. No, I agree.
I actually got some breaking news. And if I was in that league, this shit wouldn't have been sweet with me. It would have been up.
I got some breaking news.
Today, but it will be you tomorrow. The niggas in the league have a responsibility to stand up for what's right and denounce this pussy ass nigga. I'm just in the media. Don't get mad at me. This is just media shit. We gonna give it up. You feel me? But he's
I feel it. I think
he's looking like a bitch ass nigga, and it's not right. It's just everyone put the same amount of bread up. You feel me? There's a reason, but if niggas are okay with him going against the Constitution, they got to be okay with him doing that when it affects them as well.
He's already on a reign of terror. I mean, you want to just talk about the bitchness? We already seen it with the loser deciding when he's gonna get punished. I mean, guy went to Guatemala.
That was wild.
Guy went, living his best life. He's like, I'm gonna just do it on my own terms. So already a sticky warrior start to his reign of terror. I mean, reign of commission there. So, but we got some breaking news on a trade. It seems that old Urban Leisure and the Law made a trade. So it seems that Sam has traded Brown's defense. No, he received Brown's defense. Damien Harris, Ramondre, and Puka Nacua in return for Pacheco, Igby, Boyd, Kamara, and Amon St. Brown. Okay. I mean, it's like trading mid for mid, but I mean, hey, like this shouldn't be stopped, right? Yeah, okay. So I mean, honestly, I think that's a fair trade. I mean, I don't really.
Meenop had to trade Ramondre for who?
So yeah, pretty much Meenop gave up Cooper Kupp, Ramondre, Damien Harris, Browns defense for Pacheco, Tyler Higbee, Tyler Boyd, Kamara, who's suspended, and Amon-Ra.
I guess. It's how I feel about the first trade.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, I'm saying it's literally like it's not bad.
If we're gonna veto the first trade, why not veto that trade? Like, what's the principle? What's the fundamental nature? And that's what I don't understand. You're just going off your feelings. You see, like that's why I
just made him give up more for essentially the same thing. I think it's still fairly balanced. I mean, hey, look, somebody's gonna have to lose a trade regardless. It's never gonna be two winners. Somebody's gonna get a better end of the stick regardless. Right? It's just maybe one's a better winner than the other. But I mean, hopefully this gets pushed through. As of right now, the trade has been accepted. I'm pretty sure there's probably a ruckus going on amongst the owners, or maybe it's probably. I haven't had any news of it being rejected It's been weighted for by the commission, but my inside sources are crossing their fingers. They did due diligence. I don't want to expose them because I don't want them getting them sniped. But
Yeah, I didn't see it. You got niggas really hitting you up on the side.
hey, look, we the source. We the source, baby. We the source. We gonna get straight into it. We always gonna know before niggas know. We gonna know.
Who you got winning that matchup though?
Oh, bro. Minov hasn't won a game in how long, bro? Like, fuck out of here, bro. Steve can be trash and still beat this nigga, bro. I project Minov to be the first sub 100, maybe sub 90 game. Yeah, man. I don't know. Tyler Lockett. I like Tyler, but there's bigger dogs coming now. I mean, Tyler's good, but depends. If Smith and Jebba's not playing, then Tyler might be able to save him. But yeah, I don't know. That's a tough matchup. Steve, he has Fields. I think Fields gonna be able to run around. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game actually, but I think Steve might be able to pull away. But don't be surprised if this is both a sub 90 matchup, or excuse me, sub 100 matchup. Yeah, we can get on to God's favorite child, and then the D clan. Pause. Khalil, you know how Khalil's pretty much been, for the most part, a good performer for the league every year. He's been at the playoffs, or I think maybe last year was the first year he didn't make playoffs. But he said I spoke with him after the draft. He felt pretty confident about his team. He said he had redemption on his mind, word to Drizzy. So we're gonna have to see it. It looks like with his team right now, he has Josh Allen, Josh Jacobs, who's coming back. Didn't really have a training camp, so he might be shaky Warriors his first game. Kenneth Walker, I think, is a good player, good pickup. I think Kenneth Walker might actually do something. Rams defense looks abysmal. Jamar Chase, is Joe gonna play? We don't know. Christian Watson's an interesting one. I know he's a speed demon. But to have him as your wide receiver too, he's really respecting a lot. But I also see that he has Mike Williams. So, yeah, is he really your wide receiver too? And then Njoku, tight end, it's kind of mid. The San Francisco defense, they're missing some guys, so they look kind of. But yeah, I mean, looking at his team and his bench, he has Zay Flowers. I tell y'all, Zay Flowers gonna be crazy. I mean, looking at his team, I think he might. Let me see. He's gonna make playoffs. I'm not gonna count him out. Like, he's made playoffs. I'm not trying to meet right or nothing, but he's made playoffs every other year except for last year. And he has a pretty deep roster. What you think?
Yeah, I respect the draft. This is typically how Khalil drafts, I feel like, and he usually hits with his receivers. So Christian Watson, he did perform well for him last year. I like his team. And that's the other thing. You don't need the perfect team. You just need
Producers.
You just need a better team relative to the other owners, And
That is all true.
yeah, that's not really saying much because most of the league's teams aren't that, I'm not too fond of. So, relative to everyone else, he is projected to finish first this year. I think, yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I think he'll do well this year.
Yeah.
The D clan is wild.
Yeah.
I'm
He's hanging on to that D.
I'm gonna just choose against that baggage. I don't care. God. Who is that?
That's Yusuf.
Oh my God. Yeah, you can run through his roster. I don't even play with that. Pause.
Yeah, so you got the D clan. I guess the reason behind that, he has a lot of D on his team. Pause. No, D Watson, also known as the Horny. Austin Eckler, he's been running Charge has been running him to the ground, and he's been trying to be the advocate for running backs. But nigga, you the reason why nobody getting paid. Then he also has D Henry, of course. I think he has two solid running backs. He's gonna be leaning on them. Debo Samuel. Okay, I see why he's the D clan. Debo Samuel. Okay, cool. That's a good pickup. DeAndre Hopkins. I really don't think he's gonna be the D Hop of old. He might, realize that and try to make that trade. Hopefully he sells high while the stock is high. Kyle Pitts is another one that, hey, I'm sorry he's a Gator, but I just don't think they respect him or know that he's a tight end out there. So um, Jahmyr Gibbs, I think is a good pickup. He might be able to shine. I don't know if he's going to have a breakout game on Thursday. The lights are bright, very bright in Kansas City. So we'll see what that looks like. Looking at his bench, DJ Moore. I'm surprised DJ Moore's on the bench. I would have started him over D Hop, but okay. Maybe this is not the Rodgers. And then he has Michael Thomas, Odell. He has some pretty solid bench options. I'll give him that. Maybe he's going to use it for trade bait to get that, wide receiver that he really wants. Looking at their teams, I think there's going to be a pretty good matchup. Might be it's probably the tightest pause matchup that we have for the week. And I think it's going to be a good matchup. It's going to go either way. Just looking at the the lineups that they have and who they play, I'm leaning more towards the D Clan than God's favorite child. I think Use might win this week.
That's the way you lean in. Okay.
Pause, bro. I said pause, bro. I said pause, bro.
That's what you identify with. I feel it. I'm ready to move on to the next matchup.
Who you got winning?
I already have my mind.
Who you got winning, bro?
You said what?
Who you got winning this?
I told you. I had Khalil.
Okay, yeah. So I think both gonna be in the playoffs. I think it's gonna be between, I don't know the order, but it's between them two, and then P, and then I don't know, the last spot is kind of up for grabs, but I think those three for sure.
One thing I will say about Yusuf is, as much as I would love to discredit and not acknowledge the fact that he is the first and only two-time winning.
He is.
It hurts. It pains me to acknowledge that, but I got to give credit where credit is due. He earned that. I know how hard it is going through that journey and winning the chip. And he did it twice. So, like, I'm a lot of things. One thing I am not is a hater. So,
I'll give it to him for that. I will give it to him for that. I mean, technically I am one too, but that's not here nor there.
For sure. Let's go into the next matchup.
Yeah. So next matchup, and is it the last matchup?
5 minutes of recording time left, by the way.
Say that. We're gonna lock it out. Yeah. All right, so the last matchup that we're gonna get into, the bad mother Tucker. And Sam versus O'Shea. So let's get into it. Looking at O'Shea's team, he has Jalen Hurts. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFC right now. He's gonna perform. He has good passing game, good running game. Cook, I don't know, is he gonna start? They have a lot of running backs. It's gonna be a carousel of running backs over there, but he should stay healthy. I don't know who's gonna get the red zone touches. We're gonna learn as the season gets on who's gonna be in the red zone. I had Cook and he got sniped a lot into the red zone, so we'll see how that looks for him. Demo, I don't know, man. Demo is another situation. O'Shea's running back might be his Achilles heel this year. I don't really see him really making a run, but I never see O'Shea making a run, and then he ends up doing it. So hopefully he takes his motivation. He does have Jetta and Waddle, so he has two high-performing wide receivers there. Mike Evans make it 3. Like I said, his running backs is probably the only weakness on his team. He has some good young wide receivers. I can also see O'Shea get into a situation where he doesn't know who to pick as the week get on, or even pick people up. He's notorious for not setting up his roster in time, so that might cost him a game or two and get him out of the playoffs. What do you think?
One thing I do like about O'Shea's approach this year is he kind of went against the grain. Well, he typically does. For those who don't know, O'Shea typically likes drafting fantasy teams the way he, likes his woman, just big and meaty prospects, right? So typically it's Derrick Henry. He does have Najee on his team, So he did stick to the brand a little bit, but for the most part, he got some really agile slot guys. You got Mike Evans that goes back to the Biggie Meaty brand, but um, yeah, Waddle, Justin Jefferson, I like that. Really agile, quick guys. The thing about fantasy is it's not about skill as we know, it's about production. And I think he did do a better job of that this year in terms of just not going with his man crushes and actually, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
On his talent on his roster. So I do like that. Um, he's going against Sam Captain, the law. A little bit about Sam. This will be his fourth, fifth year. Um, It's one thing about Sam is he technically did win a championship. But we call it the bubble trip, and we don't really respect him all the way. He's not really in the club. He's not really invited. You know what I mean? Into the section, like he's on the perimeter. We acknowledge him. We salute him. Kind of guards the section.
We had him a
So
couple
ungrateful,
of
really.
raspberry,
Yeah,
cranberry
every other
juice.
year he's been ass. See, he's also facing an uphill battle. I feel like this year. Um, CMC Mixon, that's a solid. Like I said, CMC, I think he just has to be efficient. I think they're gonna limit his load for sure. Pause.
Pause.
Mixon, I think he's getting up there in age. I can see him falling off. Honestly, I like St. Brown. He's trading him for Cup potentially. So we'll see how that will go. Coop, we know Coop really can't trust that nigga. I could say Pacheco. He just saw a cool little team. I see O'Shea
And he's
winning.
traded Pacheco too, so I really don't know what his team.
Yeah,
I
it's pretty
really
hard to project.
don't
We'll
know what his
see
team
what
gonna
his
look like.
final roster is, but as it stands, I'm leaning towards the app. I got O'Shea winning that matchup for sure.
Yeah, nah, definitely. I think O'Shea's gonna win that. And if I look at his roster, I actually think O'Shea might be, in the playoffs. I think for my predictions, this is just early on.
Yeah,
I think it's
I
gonna be
agree with you on that.
O'Shea, Petro.
You actually stole my hot take.
Oh damn, my bad. I
Yeah,
just had
I got O'Shea making playoffs this year.
yeah. As I said, I can see O'Shea making playoffs, Petros, Khalil, and Use. I think those four. I'm predicting a Super Bowl slump.
I'm not mad at that.
I think for the last bottom is probably going to be a battle between Minab and Mike. Just being honest with you. And then yeah, man. What about you? Who you got in your playoffs and who you got in?